All right, that was the end of that clip. Wow, this, I don't even know where to start at on this.
The only thing I can say to that is I'm not sure what's wrong with the woman, but I'm sure it's very hard to pronounce.
You know what really bothers me about this situation is how a person, or not even how a person, how we have came to the point where people can become so hungry for attention or fame that they would be willing to maim themselves or to do something that would cause permanent injury to themselves. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And then what really makes it even worse is you make this entire story up, and then you out of all the people you could choose, you had to make up and say that it was a black woman. Like, poor old me, I'm this beautiful white woman, and this evil black person came and threw acid in my face. Okay, first of all, your story is so unbelievable. Who actually just walks around with a cup of acid? Just walks around with a cup of. I mean, and I didn't record the further part of that interview where a lot of the people in the police department said that her story didn't add up from the beginning, and they had doubts about it, but they just couldn't put their finger on what she was lying about. But they said something. It was a lot of holes in her story. And the way that the acid was thrown in her face, it just didn't, it doesn't add up. So, I really think it's sad that people, especially that people in situations now that wish they could have a normal face, that wish they weren't in pain, and for you to inflict some pain upon yourself, I have no pity for her.
Oh, I wouldn't either.
I have no pity for her. And then on top of that, honestly, this may sound cruel, and I don't care what nobody has to say because it's my opinion, and this is how I feel. But you know what? People like her that do stuff like that, they should not be allowed to get any kind of facial reconstructive surgery. Because you have people that have been in fires, that have been in accidents, and they can't even afford to get that done. And, and here you are doing this stuff. She should be made to look at that for the rest of her life. And she should have no mercy. Because, for you to put out there that a black person did this to you when there was no person at all that did it to you, you did it to yourself, you by your own admission said that you done it, you should not be allowed to seek any reconstructive surgery or anything else like that. I'm sorry, that's how I feel.
Yeah, we have an awful lot of people out in the world today, like you said, that are in desperate need of things that really do deserve it.
Yes. And, who sits around and thinks this? Well, I just don't feel wanted. I don't feel that. So what do? Because you feel bad about yourself, what do? Instead of you hurting yourself, okay, if you're going to hurt yourself. You're going to make a whole group of people look bad. You're going to have people sit here, feel sorry for you, raise all this money for you, and then, you want to turn around and say, oh, this whole thing was a hoax. I just needed some attention.
Well, consider what you're dealing with, the mentally ill.
Something has to be wrong. And I bet you that this is not the first thing that she's done to herself, but that's been noticeable. See, this woman probably has done all kind of crazy stuff that people just don't know about.
Well, and, now not always, because I know from my experience in my line of work There's some people that went along for years, leading fairly normal lives, and then all of a sudden they start slipping away, and people, but there's nothing alarming that really sets any bells and whistles off to the family going, hey, they're nuts. And then all of a sudden they do something stupid like this. And, the family's sitting there going, are you serious? We never would have dreamed that. But, I've seen it before in my line of work.
Wow. Wow.
I know of one that happened years ago where a woman faked being raped to get attention from her boyfriend.
Are you serious?
Yes, absolutely. And this woman had...
how far was she willing to go with that?
Well, the woman faked being tied up and, called 911. Police get there. She's still got some ligatures around her and, partially this and that. And they were investigating and going to town. And then all of a sudden, about the middle of the investigation, before the police could really determine that, before even they got to the point where they're going, wait a minute, something don't seem right here, she had came out and confessed that she had faked it. And it was to get attention from her boyfriend. And the boyfriend was beside himself. Even this woman's family was like, are you serious? We had never dreamed she would do anything like that. But
wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, so in your opinion, do you think that well, I guess I should ask, in your opinion, what should be the penalty for someone that that makes false allegations?
Well,
I mean, what is the penalty you think that should be for that?
There are laws in the states against, well, I know in Indiana there is, against filing a false police report. However, it's, not exactly very stringent. I mean, it's not like where there's a really painful retribution for it, but, they can be charged for filing a false police report. So,
right.
But the punishment for it's not much. I mean, it's not severe, and I'm, sorry, I can't really quote exactly what Indiana law is on it, but I do know for a fact there is one against filing a false police report.
Yeah, now I have heard of that before, but I didn't know how stringent or how intense the penalties were.
I believe, if memory serves me correctly, I believe it's a misdemeanor. There may be felony exceptions for things against really, really serious things like, say, accusing someone of murder or, rape may be the case. But to my knowledge, the majority of it would be misdemeanor charges.
Wow. That's very serious. And
yeah.
I really think that in this particular case, when she had all these people donate this money and stuff like that, it's really embarrassing.
Oh, absolutely.
So because what this is going to do is this is going to cause people to become more numb to situations like that. And, she's going to make it hard for the next person that really needs some type of assistance or needs the community's help. She's going to make it hard for that next person that is actually legitimate.
Yeah, or even think of the people that donated money to her cause. Some of these people, some people that donate, and I personally am a type of person that I don't donate a lot of money to a lot of situations out there. I just don't do it very often because, personally, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes in a lot of them. And like an average working person, I don't have time to do deep homework on individual organizations. But, I have nothing against donating time and for a good cause or helping out a good cause or whatever, with maybe freeing up some of my time to go help out with it at a fundraiser, so to speak. But what if some of these people say they're like me and they don't very often donate money to a cause very often, and they're out here going, wow, I actually donated to that, and look what happened. Look what she was all about. That is going to do, that's obviously going to have some people carrying an attitude of, well, guess I shouldn't have donated. That's what I get for donating. When there's actual good organizations out there that could use the money.
Right.
'Cause,
and then yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's face it, in this economy, people don't have a lot of money to just be throwing around and donating.
Yeah, you're right. And that's why I said you really got to be careful in who you give your money to. And we were just talking about earlier about the church and stuff like that, and how people, you got to really be careful who you give your money to there. But if you have to be careful what you give your money to in the church, then you better believe that you better be careful where you give your money to otherwise.
Absolutely.